struck. Just take a look at this. This building was sprayed with gunfire, set alight. The owner only survives because he hid in the roof. In fact, for many of the communities here, life has stood still since that horrible, horrible morning. Look at this. Wine that was drunk the night before at the celebration. In all, 101 people died here on this kibbutz. An appalling tragedy. Well, how the reverberations have spread right across the Middle East since that fateful day, as Israel has waged war on Hamas in Gaza and, of course, against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Well, our first report tonight is from Jeremy Byrne, who examines the last 12 months of war, the lives transformed in Israel and in Gaza, where more than 40,000 people have died in the Israeli response. His report begins in kibbutz Kfar Aza, close to the Gaza border.
The survivors of the attack on kibbutz Kfar Aza have not come back to live here. The ruins have not been touched. Kfar Aza, right on the border, was one of the first targets of Hamas. They killed 62 people here and took 19 into Gaza as hostages. That buzz is from an Israeli drone heading for Gaza. Later, we heard airstrikes. Bereaved families and a grieving nation were promised total victory over Hamas by their prime minister. A year on, Hamas are still fighting. The ground around one house has been excavated. It was the home of Nirel Zini and his fiancée, Niv Raviv, both killed by Hamas.
Hello, Amber.
Nirel's father spent weeks looking for his son's head. He didn't find it.
Look at this.
A neighbour said there was a nightmare on every corner.
We're still inside the trauma we are now, in post-trauma life. People say, we're still here, we're still in the war. My victory, I will be here with my son and daughter, with my grandchild, and living peacefully.
For Israelis, Kfar Aza and all the other places that Hamas attacked on the 7th of October have become repositories of a very deep and still raw national trauma. And the horror that happened here has, for the vast majority of Israelis, absolutely justified everything that Israel has done since then. A year ago, Israeli troops were still fighting Hamas when they led us into Kfar Aza 3 days after the attack. The year of war since then ripped away any illusion that the Middle East could be peaceful without resolving deep-seated conflicts. Hamas fighters lying where they were killed were seen by Israelis as enemies funded by Iran to destroy their state. And the sight of dead Israelis being carried out of the ruins brought back the Nazi Holocaust that killed 6 million Jews. These soldiers were being deployed north to the border of Lebanon. A year later, Israel and Iran are in direct conflict, plummeting towards all-out war.
Reduce on what it
Israel's
was
Prime Minister Netanyahu promised a mighty
back in the day.
His defense minister said they were fighting human animals in Gaza and would act accordingly. This was Gaza City before last October. Hamas told the BBC they attacked Israel to put Palestinians back on the world's agenda. Israel has damaged or destroyed nearly 60% of all Gaza's buildings, according to satellite analysis. As the war in Lebanon deepens in Beirut, there are fears they might face something like this. Almost 42,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, have been killed. 10,000 are missing, thought to be under the rubble. The estimate is that 40% of casualties are children. Israel insists it follows the laws of war, spares civilians, and it rejects and condemns the accusation of genocide made by South Africa at the International Court of Justice. More than 2 million Gazans, the UN says, are trapped in a humanitarian catastrophe.
This is going to be
food,
an
water,
ass
and
destroyed morning. That's got
as
a feeling.
families are displaced repeatedly on Israel's orders, BBC Verify has tracked how quickly improvised camps spring up. The Israelis say they're protecting civilians. The UN says nowhere is safe. Israel does not allow journalists into Gaza, so trusted Palestinian colleagues filmed Insaf Hassan Ali and her family in Al-Mawasi, a supposedly safe area hit by at least 18 Israeli airstrikes. Insaf and her family have had to move 15 times.
We were walking on Saladin Street when a car was hit. We saw it burning. On the left, there were people killed. On the right, there were people killed. Even the donkeys were thrown around in the bombing. And we said, that's it, we're done. The next rocket will be for us.
On the West Bank, the other side of the Palestinian territories, violence and killing have increased sharply. This is Jenin, where many Israeli raids have not deterred or destroyed local armed Palestinian militias. The cemetery is filling up with their dead. The war in Gaza has radicalized both sides. The West Bank is already part of the pileup of serious conflict in the Middle East. There could be a bigger explosion here if Israel and Iran continue to accelerate into all-out war. The nightmare of the war that started in Gaza, spreading and igniting the Middle East, is happening. A ceasefire deal in Gaza might just cool the crisis and create a space for diplomacy. Perhaps the war can end in Gaza too. Or perhaps it's too late for that.
Jeremy, you're in Jerusalem. Do you see this conflict already engulfing parts of
Fucking hell.
the region?
I think I'm going to suffer
actually
this
spreading
tomorrow.
wider and deeper?
Clive, it's a really, really dangerous moment, and what was a very
I've got a
nasty
feeling.
and brutal stalemate, you could call it, really changed about a month ago when Israel decided to go on the offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Israelis have made it very clear they couldn't tolerate rocket fire into their country. Hezbollah
This is about as hot as I'm prepared to go now.
that their arsenal provided by Iran was too strong and that Israel wouldn't take that risk. Well, they did. They attacked, killed the leader, blew up those pages, have invaded into South Lebanon, and while they've inflicted massive blows on Hezbollah, its patron, the Iranians, instead of maybe just standing back, as Israel may have hoped, they hit Israel last Tuesday with ballistic missiles. So now everyone in the region and here are waiting to see what Israel will do. They've said they'll hit back. The way they hit back, where they hit, and what Iran does afterwards will determine the way this war spirals. Either more towards disaster or perhaps slowing down that process. We'll see.
Fuck me. How the hell did we eat that shite when it was
live in Jerusalem? Well, tonight,
double as
Israeli
hot it
strikes
was
continue
15
in
years
Lebanon.
ago?
New evacuation orders have been issued for people living in the south. Hugo Bechega, our correspondent, has just sent us this
I mean,
report from the
if
capital.
this had tasted like that when I first tried that tin after all those years, I would not be having it now.
Overnight, and the most intense Israeli airstrikes in this war. In the morning, more airstrikes. This video appears to capture secondary explosions, a possible sign that weapons will be stored there.
This place was hit about 12 hours ago and there's still smoke coming out of the rubble. There is a heavy smell in the air and there is destruction all around, including some buildings far from here. I can count at least 3 underground floors. It's all destroyed.
Israel accuses Hezbollah of hiding weapons among civilians, an accusation Hezbollah denies. This building, residents told us, included a sweet shop. We found a bag with the name of the shop on the right, next to the tail fin of a mortar, unlikely to have been used by the Israeli military. We couldn't stay long. A group of men arrived, ordering us to leave. In Gaza, Israel's war against Hamas continues. Israel bombed another school housing displaced residents, saying Hamas had set up a control center in the building. A nearby mosque was also attacked. Israel
Fuck
said
me.
Hamas was operating there. The two strikes killed at least 26 people, according to Gaza's health
That's
ministry.
it.
Mohammed al-Matar lost her daughter and grandchildren.
That's it. I'm ceasing all operations as regarding Operation Stag.
I hope God
I know
will
Jeff would
continue
put his
that
plate
night.
up.
You have made us cry over our children, grandchildren, and loved ones. My heart is breaking. My heart is breaking.
Back in Lebanon, the missiles come not only at night. Israel is not backing down in its war against Hezbollah, and in Beirut, there's no respite. You're watching BBC News, Beirut.
More on the conflict here in the Middle East later in the programme, but first we're going to go on to other news. And Sue Gray has resigned as the Prime Minister's
Fuck
Chief of
me.
Staff, saying that she risks becoming a distraction. Now, the former
That
civil
was
servant
savage.
had been caught up in